Welcome, everybody. Would you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
The United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Let me remind everybody, if you come up to speak, please speak into the microphone and state your name and any affiliation you have. Gentlemen, have you read the planning board minutes from May?
Yep.
Do you have any questions, comments? Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
And let's all vote together. How do you vote?
Aye.
Is there anyone here from T&M Rustic Home? Liz?
They're probably not here because I notified
Right.
them that they don't need to be on the agenda, and you should have received this de minimis letter that I sent to Phil and Bill. And my name is Liz Axelson. I'm the planning consultant for the Town of Kent Planning Board. So that item is off.
Thank you. I'm sure there's no one here for Holly property?
Good evening, I'm Bob Bradley. I represent the Hollies. We got a draft stipulation from the attorney for the planning board. We agree with the stipulation, or the Hollies agree with the stipulation. And if it gets sent to us the same way it was, we can have it signed and back to you quickly. I understand that I got an email from Liz, I guess it was today, that, you know, as far as the plans, that'll be on the July meeting. But the only thing that we wanted to do today is to tell you the stipulation is fine with us, the Hollies. And if we get it into a good shape, we will sign it. And I just wanted to, I guess, make that formal. All right?
Right, thank you.
There's a couple things that have to be done. It's a little bit,
Right.
there's, you know, has to be reworded. There's a lot of cross-outs. There's some problems with syntax and spelling, but besides that, it's fine. I mean, the bulk of it is fine.
John?
Okay, just for the record, my name is John Andrews. I serve as the engineer to the planning board. If you will recall last meeting, we did distribute the stipulation. You should have all gotten it the next morning after the last meeting. I was not aware of anybody having any comments. I just asked for the record, did anyone have any comments that I need to relay back to Mr. Battistoni? If not, we will proceed and put it in its final form. We will make the editorial modifications. There's a couple comments that Mr. Battistoni and I had that we want to clean up. But if the board didn't have any comments, we'll put it in final form and circulate it.
It sounds good. We don't have to take any vote here or anything.
Not this evening. Once it's in its final form, what you'll need to do is take a look at it. What I would recommend is that you then send it to the town board with your recommendation, and because they also have to sign it.
Right.
And I, like Liz, had a couple minor comments with the plans, but I'll get them out to the attorney or to his engineer in advance of the next meeting because they were relatively minor from my end.
Sounds good. Members, any questions, comments? Liz?
So I did start to look at the submitted plans, and the intention was just to look to see what kind of information did I still need so that I could do my part in guiding the board through the stipulation. And so I wasn't finding the coverage numbers that I was looking for. So I did some of my own calculations, which I shared with Bruce and John Andrews and Jeff Battistoni. And I feel confident that if I was to show some maximum numbers that the coverage on the site would be fine. So I'm going to look at the submittal, look at my old comments, and work with Jeff Battistoni and Bruce and John and shape up the stipulation. And I'm going to pose the possibility of the maximum building and impervious coverage on the site is 35%. I don't think they'll ever get anywhere near that. So anyway, we'll look at that, okay? That's it.
Did you identify yourself, Liz?
I, well, identified myself the first time, but you want me to do it again?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was trying to remember right up front.
Yeah, I'm not,
Okay,
where am I?
good reminder.
Is there anyone here from Flintlock Storage?
Oh, wait a minute, I got a question. On the site layout plan that I'm looking at, there's a chart that says proposed building bedroom count. It says apartment number 1 to 8, which I'm looking at kind of in the lower left corner. And then it says apartment number 25 to 28. 25, 26, 27, 28, plus 29 appear to be parking places along the left side of the access road.
The building and apartment numbering is out of sequence.
Those are supposed to be the units. There's a couple glitches in some of the language.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
glitches in
that's
the
what I was
plan.
wondering.
Yeah, it's gotta be buffed.
Yeah, so this 32, 34, 36, and 28 should be the
intent, the
25
numbers
and
all-
28.
The numbers of bedrooms and the numbers of everything, it's just that the units and the parking, somebody got carried away, so they get confusing.
Okay. It's not a big deal, but, so this is supposed to be, okay, I wondered if something like that happened. So, okay, yeah. All right, I feel better.
Anyone
Thank
else?
you.
Anyone else with a question, comment?
Just if I can answer that. I see what happened on that, and I can see what the confusion is. The parking spaces were numbered, and they don't particularly correspond to the numbers of the apartments, of the addresses.
I think they're garages.
Because if you take a look, there's a garage, but there's a parking space out front. It starts at 1, which should be on the left-hand side, and runs up until the end. It doesn't run in conjunction with the numbers on the apartments, if that's what you're talking about. The parking spaces are numbered differently. They don't coordinate with the number on the apartment, if that's what you're talking about. This is just quickly. This would be 2 labeled here, but the parking space is 1.
Yeah,
Before it's 3.
I
It goes
figured
1, 2,
that out.
3, 4, yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
What he's referring to is if you go to your bedroom count,
Right,
these are numbered 32, 33, 32,
35, 36.
39.
Oh,
And table numbers on 23 to
Gotcha.
28.
Okay, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll take care of it, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Double check.
Yes, yes. Thanks.
Check the draft.
Get back to work.
You all understand the wonders of CAD. Sometimes
If there's a way we can have offline consultation with Paul, can we straighten out the numbering, because it seems to be left, okay. I think it would help as this moves forward.
Yeah, no, I've been doing this. I've been doing this. Any other questions, comments, anyone? No. Is there anyone here for Flintlock Storage?
That one below. Here, give him a sign here. You can have,
you've got the older agenda.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
sign here.
NYC DEP in Seven Hills? I have about 3 copies, that's what.
Hello, Tom Boland here for New York City DEP on the subject of Seven Hills Lake Dam and our lot line revision request.
Thank you. Liz? John?
John, do you want to go first?
I can go first because you got the resolution, so. You got ahead of it. As you may recall, we did issue a memo. This is pretty straightforward. They're switching properties. DEP is giving the Seven Hills Property Owners Association and another of their parcels, and they're changing things around. They start with 3 parcels, they end with 3 parcels, just the acreages have changed. It is a type 2 action under seeker. They did ask for 1 waiver, which I think Liz has caught. They're missing some information, but the long and short of it is, any comments that I have could very easily be accommodated as conditions of a resolution. So my recommendation is, since there is no requirement for a public hearing in this matter, and the fact that we did get a copy of the minutes of the homeowners association establishing the fact that they are behind this by a majority of their voters, I would suggest that you are in a position to move this forward and put it in a resolution, grouping the conditions that I may have and Liz may have in that resolution. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, John. Liz?
Yeah, this is a pretty conclusive document, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I also did comments, and it's all based on code, pretty minor things to do with the plan. As usual, there's language that the code requires about the grantor of land submitting deed conveying portion of land to the adjoining lot or parcel owner, and the verbiage is right from the code. So there's a couple comments like that, and then the rest of the process about submitting a Mylar eventually. And let's see. And that when the map is filed, that copy of the map filing data would be submitted to the planning board. So I do recommend that you guys go ahead tonight, guys and gal, sorry. So I do recommend that you can go ahead. I've prepared a draft resolution for you. And basically, very quick history. The first few whereases are talking about who the applicants are, the different lots. I'm not going to read through all the little exchanges of land from one to the other. The proposed action involves transfers of land from one lot to another. Doesn't involve any land development activities. Let's see, it's on a decently prepared survey plat. We have a short EAF. And then the first resolved is the planning board acknowledging that a lot line revision is a type 2 action under SECRA and requires no further SECRA review. That's New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. And let's see, that the planning board in the next resolve would grant approval with conditions to the proposed revised lot line as depicted on the plan entitled City of New York Department of Environmental Protection Revised Lot Line Plat prepared by Adolph Jonietz, LS, NYC Department of Environmental Protection, dated April 26, 2022. And the resolved at the top of page 2 that this revised lot line approval is expressly conditioned on the completion and compliance of the following: addressing the comments of the planning board's professional engineer, addressing the comments of the planning board's planning consultant, payment of all consulting fees, and then outlining the responsibility of the applicant to submit proof of all these conditions. Anybody have any questions?
Can I get a motion to accept this resolution? Adopt this resolution? Anyone? No charge.
Make that motion.
And a second, please. And Hugo, how do you vote? And Stephen?
Aye.
Jackie? Aye. Dennis?
Aye.
John Carlo?
Aye.
And what's his name? Simon?
Aye.
And I vote aye too.
Thank you. We received the comments and our map has been updated and descriptions have been prepared, so we'll be submitting the updated documents within the next few days to satisfy those conditions.
Do you have any further questions for us or the consultant?
I did have one question for Liz on her memo with comments on the map. I think it was 2C referenced a nursery parcel, and I didn't think that applied to us, but I just wanted to confirm.
No, it shouldn't have said the adjacent nursery parcel. It should be tax ID numbers should have said, show name, address, and tax identification numbers for all property owners adjacent to the parcel.
Okay, so,
Your
so those three that we have, right? Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's all right, just wanted to confirm.
Very good.
All right.
Mr. Brandon has a different job.
Yes.
That's what it looked like, and just wanted to make sure. All right, thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. All right, we're below the line. Who's working?
Wow.
We're leaving.
Okay. Flintlock Storage, as you may recall, they were at the workshop session, they went over all their points. They are in the process of revising their plans, modifying their development proposal. They have been working with Bruce, I did speak with Bruce today. They're making progress on mitigating their buffer impacts to the wetlands. And Jamie anticipates making a submittal in time to be on for next month's meeting with most of the matters resolved. That being the case, we should be in pretty good shape to wrap that item up relatively quickly. New York City DEP, Churchill Road. They did make a submission for final. I'm in the process of reviewing it. Once it's done, I will make a recommendation to Vera, and I think it's ready for the chairman's signature on that particular one. White Vernon, they're still waiting, I think, for their DEP easement issue to be resolved. So we're awaiting a submittal. Kent Self Storage, I'll turn over to Liz.
Pink Sugar.
Okay, well, Kent Self Storage, I think has it been 2 months? Oh, you have it correct.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, three different ones.
Well, I don't know what there is to say about Pink Sugar. They're done.
We're just accepting their sign.
Okay. So
They were
what's
requesting
next?
all of their money back.
Right.
I let them
They
know
were
that-
harassing Vera.
Yeah, I let them know that they were, they followed the correct process, even though other tenants in that strip mall might not be following protocol, so.
Okay. I mean, just for a quick moment, I had the joy, first of all, of using the new de minimis law and writing a letter under that. But I also had the joy of the applicant for T&M Rustic Home submitted something. I did exactly the same review. I said, how big is your facade? She asked the landlord. He said 20 feet. And I said, well, you can have a 10 square foot sign. She goes, oh, I'll go right back to the sign guys and get a new sign. She went and got a smaller sign, and she got a de minimis letter. So it's really almost the same process. It's just that one individual applicant maybe had a different understanding of it than T&M Rustic, so. But anyway, that de minimis local law is very helpful.
Good. And self-storage?
Well, that one, I was just gonna say they had a reapproval, so they have several more months before they expire.
Okay, Kent Manor, Bruce and I are communicating with the attorneys to get a clear picture of what can be done. That process is not yet finished, but we're working on it.
Route 52, nothing had been happening, except that I did see an email fly across my screen from Route 52 Development, Kent Country Squares, planning consultant Patrick Cleary, but I haven't looked at it yet.
The next ones I can run through rather quickly. Annunciata Smalley Corners, we're waiting for a resubmittal. The last I knew, they were having a tree survey done. Where that stands, I don't know. Friel and Pure, they were revising their plan based on the architect revising the building. We have not yet received anything, so I assume that's still out there to come back. Fregosi Marinelli, Mr. Fregosi did make a couple, or Mr. Marinelli, I correct myself, did make a couple submittals. He submitted some photographs of some work being done on site. He submitted some work from his engineer. That will be under review, and I suspect if anything is required of this board, it will be on the July meeting. And Ranieri, unless Vera's heard something recently, we're still waiting for a submittal from him and payment of fees. And then Town of Kent Mining Law, we had a meeting with the town board representative, Chris Ruthven, at the conclusion of last week's workshop. He provided us with documents and a very clear set of directions as how the town board wishes us to proceed. And we are in the process of trying to get that scheduled. We have a definitive deadline, and Bruce and I are hoping to get together with Liz sometime next week and start the work. And in this case, most of the creativity's been done by others, so we are just really charged with putting it in local law form and making sure there are no conflicts or variances as it relates to other laws on your books.
Thank you, John. Members, any questions, comments? Audience, any questions, comments? It seems that it's before 8 o'clock, so everybody else can go home, but the honorary members have to stay till 9 o'clock. Thank you. Can I get a motion to close the meeting? I'll make a motion. And a second? Second. And Hugo? Aye. Steve? Aye. Jackie? Dennis?
Yep.
Giancarlo? Simon? Aye. And I vote aye too. The meeting is closed.